This is crazy, I'm on the right track, I'm finally found. You need some soul searching, the time is now. All I need is one mic.
So, we're back. Another episode. I'm losing steam, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Reliving it is definitely not really the best thing for me. But I feel like we came this far and I have to finish this. You know, my husband said something to me the other day that really kind of like hit me. He was telling me about something, he was having some kind of conversation with somebody, right? So I guess they were asking about the whole thing, everything I went through. And he was like, you know, Leanna's never gonna be the same. In between, you know, her mom passing away and then all this stuff with her family and everything she's been through, she's never gonna be the same. And that's so sad to me, you know, that he sees that and that he knows that. And I know that too. I remember looking back at one of my old videos one time and looking at myself and like just, it's almost like it's like I'm unrecognizable. People tell me all the time that I'm strong, and yeah, I am in a sense. I'm a pretty strong person, you know. I definitely think I have a lot of strength. But I still have my times of weakness, just like anybody else. Certain things come up in life and you get served these reminders of the trauma you've been through. I don't want to say I had PTSD, but I definitely was suffering from a traumatic experience, and it consumed me. It consumed my entire being. When you're going through something at the time like this, it consumes you and it changes you. And I'm definitely not the same person I used to be. I have to pick myself up sometimes. You know, sometimes I have to just force myself to wake up and get out of bed and function. Looking back, I don't know how I didn't have a mental breakdown over all this shit. What's really fucked up about it though is that, like, this girl was almost intent on causing a mental breakdown. She wanted me to have a mental breakdown. This is what she was trying to cause. And when you really think about that, it's like kicking somebody while they're down. How do you have, you know, such a great sense of entitlement that you feel entitled to my mother's stuff just because you're married to my brother? The concept of respect is completely lost on this girl, and I don't think she knows what it is. And I feel like I was just really disrespected by my family and let down. As it stands today, I don't really talk to anybody in my mom's family besides my cousin Nico. And I know I've told you guys this before, but it was a big adjustment for me. This was like my support system throughout my whole entire life. My whole concept of family just changed. It's almost like too painful to even talk to these people anymore. For a while, I was in touch with my mom's youngest sister. I don't talk to her really. I don't have anything necessarily against her. Like I would talk to her and she would tell me that when she talked to my aunts, like, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to be involved. I don't want anything to do with this. So like, you know, I'm certainly not going to call you up and bombard you with my problems. I don't want to force this on anybody. Even if they're watching these videos, which, you know, I know some of them are, that was your choice. You came here and found the videos. I'm not forcing the information on anybody. You have an option to listen. If you want to listen and you want to know the truth and you want to know the real story, watch the videos. If you just want to continue to live in your delusional la-la land, don't watch the videos. I just think the best way to put it is just like, I was so let down and disappointed in everybody, and I didn't want to force ultimatums on people. I didn't want people to feel like, oh, you have to choose me or my brother or me or whatever. You know, I'm told very often that, you know, your mom would want us to love both of you guys equally and blah, blah, blah. And I totally agree with that. You know, my mom would. But at the same time, for some reason, they just ignore what he's done. I don't want to be like, oh, poor me, I'm a victim, but I didn't ask for this. I did not ask for this situation to be in my life. You know, my brother forced it into my life. This person was forced into a very intimate, personal situation that she shouldn't have been involved in. You don't just get respect. Respect is something that has to be earned. You know, if this girl would have shown something, that she actually gave a shit about my mom, things would have been different. But it was very clear that this girl didn't care about my mom. All she was interested in is her money. That anyone can say to convince me that this girl cares about my mom. I always go back to this phone call couple of months before my mom was diagnosed with cancer, where my mom called her and just begged this girl, like, what do I need to do to fix things?
Yeah, you know what? I just wanted to talk to you because I keep talking to me about this and I'm not getting anywhere. And I really think that you're the person that I need to ask. Is there ever going to be a day that you can find it in your heart that you're going to let and heal his relationship with his sister? That all of you can heal your relationship?
And Satan basically told my mom,
Am I trying to find in my heart to make him do something? I can't make him do something.
No, the anger behind it shows that you don't even want it to happen, and that's fine. That's fine. This is what I needed to know, and I know it now.
Okay, that's good. I don't know what you're talking about at this point. I truly don't. I even don't care at this point what you're talking about because you call me up with this ridiculous stuff and you only want to hear what you want to hear. You don't want to hear anything else. Put everything on the really, you really need to go put something.
she had no empathy for my mom's situation. This girl couldn't see that 2 years had gone by and my mom was still, in the same frame of mind, just wanting to fix things and figure it out. And this girl just had no resolution. She did not want to solve any type of problems with my mom. And as far as my brother and my family go, I mean, I don't understand how my brother could believe that this girl actually cares about him. Somebody that cares about you isn't going to isolate you from the people you love. They're going to encourage you to fix things. And as far as my family goes, are they seriously fooled by the little effort that this girl put in at the very end of my mom's life? I mean, they had the baby. She acted a little nice because she could get something out of it. My mom just basically became an investment to her. She saw my mom as money. So it's like, let me just be a little nice. Let me put in a little time and, I'll get the payout in the end. That's all my mom was to her. And they know it. Like, I don't know where his head's at that he's forced me to deal with this person. Like, I don't like your wife. It's not a secret. I've never made it a secret. I've been very upfront and honest with you. But if he really wanted things to go easy and go smoothly, he knew how to fix them. I feel like I've been victimized because I should not have been forced to deal with this person in any capacity while I was grieving the loss of my mother. I just shouldn't have. It's disgusting that she would even want to be involved. Really think about this for a second, because not only does my brother know I don't like his wife, but Satan herself knows that I don't like her. So why would you force yourself into a situation with somebody that does not care for you? I just don't understand that. Like, why would you want to be involved in a situation and force yourself to deal with somebody that does not like you and does not get along with you? What does that say about her as a person? Because I wouldn't want to be there. I would be like, you handle this. I don't want to handle your sister. She hates me. I mean, I just don't even understand that. To me, that just tells me that she really, really enjoys conflict and fighting with people. And there's something really deeply wrong with this girl on a clinical level. I mean, think of how many times you guys have heard me confront this girl and tell her that I know it's her. And no matter how many times I did it and I addressed her, she just continued to hide under this mask of being my brother. This is not normal behavior. A normal person would not want to be involved in this at this point. Things just got worse. They really did. If I could ask my family one question, I would ask them, what was I supposed to do in this situation? I'm really curious to know what these people would have done in my situation. And I don't just mean in my situation, meaning my mom was passing away and I didn't care for my brother's wife. I'm talking about all the details, catching them going through her safe and planting a goddamn camera in her house while she's in the hospital and having the funeral home come up and planning her death while she's still alive and taking precious time away from her. What would they have done? What would they have done if they tried to reach out to their aunts who were the executors of their mother's will and their aunts wouldn't answer back? What would you have done in my situation? I just want to know. Because, I felt like I did the best I could in the situation, given the circumstances. Maybe I wasn't right all the time, but I feel like I really did deal with this in the best way that I could. But I would just be curious how my family would have dealt with this if they were in my shoes. You can't sit here and act like you have any type of respect for my mother and treat me the way you treat me. You guys can't even hold a candle to her. You really can't. Anyway, back to what my husband said, you know, he's like, Leanna's never gonna be the same. And he's right, unfortunately. In some ways, you know, maybe I'm better, but I'm a broken person who's trying to fix themselves. My whole entire perspective of family and life has changed now, and you can't unsee something. Now that I've kind of stepped back and saw the light and recognized a lot of these toxic behaviors in my family and in myself, too, because you guys are not the only toxic people. I was just as toxic. I'm learning to change.
But I can't unsee what I've seen. I can't unsee the blackness in those people's hearts. I can't unsee that. It's burned in my mind forever.
There's been instances and situations in the last couple of years where they've shown me, and I've had reminders, that they have not changed and they have not grown in any way. There's times where I'll look back and I'll be like, oh my God, you know, what did I do? Or was it my fault? Yeah, of course, there were things that were my fault, but I recognize those things and I embrace them and I own them. And these people don't own anything. They still haven't. After 2 fucking years, I'm not gonna be the same, you know? I'm not. And that sucks. Death, especially if a parent, changes you profoundly. There's no question about that. But I've changed so much, just even in different regards, that I won't ever be the same. And I feel bad, you know, that he has to know that. So to get back into the story here. This is a really weird thing, but I have to explain it in order to progress the story. So as we were, you know, in the process of getting my mom's house listed and cleaned and everything, the real estate people they had an open house, okay? In the process, you know, that we knew we were selling my mom's house, my husband's brother worked with this guy whose brother was looking for a house, right? My husband kept telling me, he's like, you know, this guy wants to see the house and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, with the way things are going, I can't just go show this guy the house, because then I'll be accused of God knows what. So when the house goes for sale, he could call a real estate agent and come see the house. This guy was very interested in the house because of where my mom's house is located. It's located by a train station, and a lot of people who work in Manhattan and commute to the city would live in my mom's neighborhood because it's close to one of, you know, the main train stations out here. And so, you know, this guy was really interested in the house because his wife worked in Manhattan. So I was like, oh wow, you know, I mean, that would be cool if somebody we knew bought the house, you know. So he wanted to come see the house, and, you know, my husband and him were texting, they were talking about it, and I told him, you know, just wait until it's for sale, and then you could come see the house, right? So the real estate agents do an open house on a Sunday. You guys all know what an open house is. They basically open the house up and anybody who's interested in the house could come see it. Right off the bat, and again, this was like very shocking to me. I wasn't expecting this. We got 3 offers just from that first open house. So it was like everything was moving so fast, and it was really scary and overwhelming at the same time. And so this guy ended up being one of the people who bid on the house. So now we have to accept an offer, which I knew was going to be a huge pain in the ass. And as this was happening, like, my anxiety was just getting worse and worse and worse and worse, because it's like, oh my God, this is becoming a reality now, you know? It's not just like a thing in the future. This is actually happening. We're actually selling my mom's house, you know? Somebody else is actually going to buy my mom's house and live there. You know something's happening, but you just don't want it to happen. Like, I did not want to let go of my mom's house. I told you guys this several times. I was just having a lot of trouble with this, okay? We get 3 offers on the house, okay? And I have to deal with the crypt keepers, aka the real estate agents. There was 2 of them. The woman Catherine, not Kathleen, Satan, Catherine. She was the main real estate agent, but it was like really weird because her husband used to come with her. He did all the work. I don't know if he was a real estate agent or what, but he did all the work. So he was the one who would always contact me. And every time these people would get in contact with you about something, it was always like an emergency. They were like very frantic. It was weird. It was very weird. So there was a few offers on the house, right? You know, within the price that we asked for. And in fact, one of them was even above asking price. This guy really wanted the house bad. So there was like one for maybe like 10,000 below. Then there was one that was at asking price, and then there was one that was like $10,000 above asking price. So what would you guys do in that situation? Wouldn't you take the highest offer? Wouldn't that make sense? That didn't happen. It wasn't happening. But we'll get into that. So really, literally at this point in time, there was nothing left to fight about. We pretty much finished everything. And now these fucking assholes start playing games with the mail and changing the address, having the mail forwarded to their house, which they shouldn't have been doing. And, you know, I went and saw my attorney. My attorney got really pissed off about this, called their attorney. I read you guys that email that I wrote to my brother in the last video. And so I get an email back from my brother's wife. And I forgot to tell you guys too, another thing that happened, they started to now block my email tracker. So what does that tell you? If you're not guilty of anything, why do you have to block the tracker? Whatever. Oh, that was the one more thing I have to explain. I told you guys about the jukebox. You guys heard me read about it, okay? So my husband and I started talking, and my husband restores things. He restores old bicycles. He restored this truck, okay? All by himself, did all the body work.
He also restored this tricycle that I found in the garbage that was actually pink at one time and was made for a girl, but he made it look brand new. He also did this beautiful Indian motorcycle, which I thought came out really nice. And his favorite of all time, his rups. I believe this one was called the Black Widow. All I know is that he does really beautiful work and he really enjoys restoring things and making old things look new.
And so he was like, you know, maybe I could restore the jukebox. My brother didn't seem very interested in this thing, and they said that they wanted to sell it. That was one of the things that they talked to their attorney about, and that their attorney had discussed with mine. So my husband and I started talking. My husband's like, you know what, Leanna? We could take the jukebox, you know, we'll put it downstairs for now, and I could work on restoring it. And I was like, wow, you know, I really, really, really would like that, because my dad really didn't have much. He didn't have like a lot of hobbies or any interests or anything like that. And so that was something that he loved. And so I'd rather take it than sell it. So given the fact that my brother gave us this list from this estate sale company, he implied that he was okay with accepting $700 for the jukebox.
In reality, my husband and I did the math back then, and we figured out that my brother would have only really gotten $175 for the jukebox, because once the estate company took their commission, whatever was left, my brother and I then would have split it, and he would have only ended up getting $175 for the jukebox. He was perfectly okay accepting that, because that was implied when he proposed this list to us, to have that estate company come and sell it. So you were fine with it at that point in time.
So my husband was like, all right, you know, I'm gonna offer your brother money for it. So we came up with this plan.
But for whatever reason, I didn't tell you guys the plan in the video while I was filming. So I'll tell you right now. My husband was going to offer my brother, I believe it was $350 for the jukebox. Now, had we sold the jukebox for $700, as the estate sale company suggested, my brother, again, would have only gotten $175, because once they took their commission and we split it, whatever. Had we sold it privately for $700, my brother would have only gotten $350 for it, because I would have gotten the other half. And so I felt like that was more than fair, what we were offering him. I wasn't getting anything for the jukebox. I was paying him to take it. He didn't seem interested in it. And so I thought, you know, how could you not? You're going to get extra money, right? I really don't know how much these things go for. I mean, it's like really hard to tell. The thing wasn't working. It was, you know, not in the best condition. It had been, there was a fire down there. There was water damage down there. I mean, you know, the thing, who knows what it was going to take to actually fix this thing. So I don't think they would have gotten much more than $700 for it. And so my husband decided he was going to be the one to text my brother directly. This way, it didn't go through me or Satan. It went straight from my husband to my brother. And again, I remind you that my husband never did anything but help my brother and treat him kindly. And so you guys are going to see what happened, but you're going to have to wait until the next video.